Welcome everybody to Wild Chat Facts. I'm Ryan. Over there is Maria, as always. Guys, today we have scoured the internet to find all the fun things that we could find. We made a list, and we're going to bring it to you. And today's episode is all about dogs. So I almost said cats there, Maria. Like we did
Yeah, I
cats
know.
a couple days ago, and I'm looking at our logo, and I almost said cats. But yes, guys, today is about dogs, my favorite.
But interesting
But
that you mentioned cats.
okay,
So I have something to say about it.
okay. What
So
what
the name or the word cat in ancient Latin actually meant little dog. So it was Catulus, and Catulus is a small dog or puppy, and so the word cat actually meant dog. So actually, very good. You almost like read my mind.
Okay, so small cat meant dog. Did like a gigantic cat mean like wolf or something? Like
That's
I don't know.
a really good point. I don't
Okay.
know about that.
If we're gonna do origins, then I guess I will start off with my origin story. So all dogs can be traced back 40 million years ago to a weasel-like animal called the Miacis. So Miacius is what I'm going with, guys. It is now called the Miacius. Uh,
Don't quote me on that.
exactly. And they actually used to hang out in trees and in dens, and then that later evolved into another animal, the Tomarcatus. I really should practice these words before we get on the show. I think Maria. That might
Marcus?
Tomarcatus. And then that was the direct forebear, the one that came before Canis, which is the dogs that we know now. So they all started as a weasel back in the day that hung out in trees and dens. That's really the main point here.
Which reminds me of when we talked about hyenas in one of somewhere. We talked about hyenas and how they're related to weasels, and so it makes you wonder if the
Hmm.
super predecessors of all of those that look like dogs come from that weasel, and as they evolve, they of course separate into canines and other
Very
critters.
possible. Very possible.
Very possible. So, in order for dogs to calm themselves down from all that evolution that has taken place through thousands and thousands of years,
Okay.
they actually may start yawning. So, when you think of yawning, most people think, oh, they're sleepy or they just want to take a nap. But actually, in the dog world, yawning is a way of relaxing and just basically relieving anxiety.
Okay. I mean, with humans, it's actually to get more oxygen. Most people think it's you're tired, but that's the byproduct. Since you need more oxygen, it makes you tired. But that's the purpose of yawning in humans,
Oh,
to actually get a big gulp of oxygen in. So, all right. Well, since we're still gonna stay with the roots of dogs, so the reason that dogs circle around is because of their ancestors. They do that little dog circle before they lay down, basically. And it makes sense after I read it. So basically, the process of circling around it to find after they find a place to sleep, it's to mat down the grass, but it's also to scare away any bugs or snakes or anything like that before they actually lay themselves down. So I thought that was cute and practical at the same time.
yeah, I like it. And
Yeah.
and also they used to think it had to do, oh no, that's pooping. That it had to do with trying to align with the electromagnetic fields, and they're still
Yeah.
kind of trying to investigate that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard it. I read that on both sides too, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna leave it out because I couldn't find like a definitive. Yes, they do. No, they don't. I saw north south. I saw east west. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna omit that one.
They do say cows. Apparently cows do follow some pattern because they all
Cow.
seem to align.
Yeah, for cows it's eating. For dogs it's pooping.
Eating,
So it's
exactly.
an alignment thing, but it's for two different processes. So.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
another thing, when we're talking about dog behavior that we think is one thing, but it really could mean another one, like the circling down, um, licking, when a dog licks you, doesn't always mean they love you. So puppies lick their mothers in order to receive food because they, in the old times, the dogs will stay in a den like foxes do, and
Hmm.
other canines, they may stay away. The puppies will not go with the parents to go hunt and stuff like that. So the
Yes.
mom will go and regurgitate the food as the pups were getting older.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, but also licking. not only could it mean that they want to regurgitate food, but also that licking to a mother has to do with almost that sense of submission,
Ah, okay.
is
Okay.
what it has been interpreted to now.
Yes, and then we have a video coming up about domestic animals at the zoo, where we've got a tiger licking a dog, and I make the nice joke of he's probably thinking in his mind, "You would taste better with salt," but but that's coming in the future, guys, on the Wild Chat podcast side. So okay, this is actually really important for people to know, and I didn't know this. I don't know why I didn't know this, but dogs actually only have sweat glands on the bottom of their paws. So it's really hard to tell if your dog is overheating. Just they will pant so they can cool down, but when they're sweating and they're like really, really hot, their only sweat glands are at the bottom of their paws. So you actually have to kind of pick up their paws to figure it out. But then those same paws and sweat glands are what's on the really hot asphalt and stuff. So that's why that's so important, guys, to kind of put your hand down on the ground, and if it's too hot for your hand, it's probably too hot for your dogs. As funny as I think it is when dogs are dressed up, I still find that a little hilarious. It is kind of necessary. They do actually make little like dog booties and stuff, and it really isn't a fashion statement. Like there's just certain places, asphalt especially, that's just too hot for dogs' paws.
Yep. That's a good point. And when we talk about dogs and where the sweat glands are, it's very interesting because when you think of an eye, especially of an animal, you always think, oh, one eyelid, like they just should have one eyelid, but actually they have three.
Uh-huh.
Which I found out to be very interesting. And so, in addition to the top lid, they have a nictitating membrane,
Okay.
nictitating membrane in the corner of the eye, and that's designed literally to remove debris and dust, basically mucus, from the cornea. So it comes like from the side. So that's why when you see them sometimes like semi-asleep, you almost see a little bit something.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's that one.
So what I'm hearing is dogs have windshield wipers on their eyes. That's what I'm hearing from you. Okay. All right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. In the dark ages, dogs use in the dark, not the dark ages, guys. Anytime. It's not just it's
At whatever age.
Oh my guys. In the dark, dogs use their whiskers to pick up subtle changes in air currents, and it gives them a better understanding of their environment, and it helps them, quote unquote, see better in the dark. So basically, they can use their whiskers as feelers, just like cats do.
Ooh, interesting.
Cats use them for spaces, for
Yeah.
depth, for width of spaces, but whiskers are useful. I forget dogs have whiskers. Some breeds you can barely tell they're there.
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
And then they also have eyelashes. To me, that's just too adorable.
Till somebody puts fake eyelashes on them, and you're like, okay, no, don't do that.
No. But the eyelashes do have the purpose of protecting them from dust too. So
Yeah, along with their windshield wipers.
well, windshield wipers and dusters. This is perfect. So did you know that Toto from Dorothy, from the Wizard of Oz, actually has to do, apparently, this is according to some scholars who speculate
Scholars.
that scholars, not dog colors, scholars,
Okay.
scholars, they speculate that Toto actually represents an Egyptian god, the god of death, Anubis.
Okay. I was trying to figure out where you're going with the scholars. I was like, okay, who's really breaking down Wizard of Oz? There's a major at USC that's like Wizard of Oz symbolism through history or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right. No, that's cool though. That is interesting. I know a lot of people when writers write things, a lot of times they have a character in their mind and then they can kind of shape it, but they don't tell anybody else. So that's actually really interesting.
No, because he also is that creating like the depthness of the character.
Yeah.
And it also creates, there's a word I'm looking for and I can't think, archetype. It creates the archetype of what that, so therefore it's easier to write who the person is. And I think when we talk, or we will talk, I don't know where that video is, about Zootopia, that we're talking about archetypes.
Yeah. The interesting, I read a fact somewhere as I was going through my stuff that actually said that Toto got paid more than she did during the movie.
I thought I read that.
So I left it out because I couldn't verify it. So I was like, all right. I'm not verifying everything, but I'm like, that just seems a little wonky. I'm gonna leave that one out. But um,
Well, he
let's
had
see.
a better contract writer.
Exactly. Somebody had a better agent.
That's what I meant.
Yes. All right. A dog's nose is always wet because it helps them actually absorb certain scents. So they'll actually lick. Part of the reason why they lick their nose also is they can basically taste the scents that they're smelling. So the wet nose actually has a flavor purpose or a
Flavor.
follow your nose to something purpose. Yes.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They also say, and this is not a myth, this is a reality.
Okay.
Many airports around the country, and I am assuming this is a growing trend, many airports around the country actually are having not only bum sniffing dogs or contraband sniffing dogs, but they're starting to have therapy dogs.
Okay.
So that, and I saw this in the San Antonio airport in Texas. They actually have a dog who walks by greeting people in order to reduce traveling anxiety.
I think that's great too because the secondary effect is, well, I don't know. I guess it can go either way, but the hard thing for some people with dogs is the canine dogs and the security dogs. You're really not supposed to pet them because they're working. So if you
Yeah,
have a
but you can tell they have the vest, and they're usually either beagles or a gladiator breed. In this
yes,
case, will be a German
exactly. For
Shepherd.
someone like me, you have a hard time not petting them regardless. You're like, "Ooh, I see a dog, I want to pet it." So at least if you have like a therapy dog roaming around, it gives you a dog that you are able to. But then on the flip side of the coin, it might be like, "Oh, well, I could pet that dog. Why can't I pet this dog?" So I
No,
guess
but it does say therapy dog. Like they
yeah.
have the red vest, the
Okay.
ESA, almost the ESA issued, which is emotional support animal
Gotcha.
issued vest. So you can tell, especially the
Okay.
red is usually medical, and the black or the green or the blue is more of the police
Okay. Okay.
or military.
Who's up? Is it me or you? I don't even remember. It's me. Okay, let's see. Oh, well, I have this fact about dogs sensing electromagnetic fields while they poop. I'm skipping that one. We already covered that.
Really? You had
Um,
that?
yes. Okay, dogs can actually sense drops in barometric pressure and shifts in static electricity fields, which allows them to spot approaching storms. On top of, we all know they kind of seem to have a sixth sense for sensing like earthquakes and stuff well before everybody else. And this might be a big part of the reason is they do have senses and their range of hearing and sight is much different from ours. So they have access to different information than we do.
That's so amazing. I mean, animals are truly incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a funny one. So I'm talking a lot about police and emotionally support dogs. Well, some states actually allow the police officer to bite a dog. Can you guess why?
To test if it has rabies.
Actually, they can bite the dog if the dog needs to calm down. Just like an alpha dog will kind of grasp at the neck of a beta, then it's the
Okay.
same thing, just to calm them down.
Okay. Don't try this at home, people.
Please don't
Um,
try that at home. That's why I said police officers are
yes.
allowed. I mean, these are people who know and train with dogs.
Okay. Even regardless of that, please don't try this at work. Okay, a dog's nose print is so unique and detailed that it can be used to identify specific dogs, just like a human fingerprint can.
So you can almost just print
Yes,
it
and
nose.
they'll love you for that. Yeah, I'm gonna put your snozzle in some ink, and then I'm gonna put it on a piece of paper. They'll love you for that.
No,
Yes,
no, you just roll it.
forever. Okay, that'll be so much easier. You're right.
Yeah, they're gonna love that.
Yeah,
So the you know that the Beatles. Okay, hold on. How do I phrase this so it sounds more exciting? Do you know who inspired the Beatles song "Martha, Martha, My Dear"?
a dog.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna talk a video about dogs without a fact about a dog, perhaps. Guess the
Got it.
name of the dog.
Scooter. Scooter McFluffies. Scooter McFluffies. I'm sticking with.
Martha, the sheepdog. Sheepdog. Her name was Martha. Paul McCartney's dog.
Her alternate personality though was the Scooter. Sorry, you just I dug a little deeper into that fact. While you were saying it, I just pulled up Google and I found this extra information about. No, I'm just kidding.
No, no, the dog's name was Yellow Submarine.
Right, right, and they all lived inside of him. That's gross, Maria. That's so weird. Um, all right, let's see. Most dogs have paws that smell like corn chips, a phenomena dubbed Frito feet, and it happens because of the buildup of sweat and bacteria on their paws. Because, like we said, that's where their sweat glands are. So.
And yeast. So actually, if you smell that, you should probably check and see, make sure there's probably a little bit of a hygiene issue. Maybe the paws got wet and they just kind of. So
Okay, all right. So the yeast is not like scrape it off and make some bread or some beer or anything. No, okay. It's a check for. Okay, that was about as gross as I'm gonna get on here, people. All right, next.
So speaking of smells, since we're talking about that topic, the smell center of a dog's brain is 40 times larger than ours.
Okay.
They have gotten, but they have actually, their brains themselves have gotten larger because dogs are becoming smarter. And that has to do in comparison to cats. Like if you look at a cat and a dog brain development, they actually dogs' brains have gotten larger. And that's because dogs have become more social. Dogs are more social. So living with more humans and being exposed to other animals and being constantly like an urban setting has
Yeah.
made the dogs develop a larger brain than cats.
Okay. I'll stick with brain then, and I'm going to go with dogs and humans release the same love hormones, oxytocin, and it explains why we develop such strong bonds with dogs. And dogs and humans actually have similarly structured brains, other than they have sections that are larger, like Maria just said. And some of the parts of their brains actually light up the exact same way ours do to certain stimuli when they've done tests.
That's awesome. And I have something to debunk.
A debunker.
Debunker. They used to
Yep.
think that dogs were colorblind. Like that was one of the things they're like, oh no, dogs are colorblind. Well, they're actually not. They do have a little bit of a challenge when it comes to certain colors. So they're more like what's that illness? It's not an illness, it's when you're colorblind.
That's it, colorblind.
No, there is a name for it, and I can't think of it at this particular moment. But whatever.
Oh, colorblind.
So colorblind, they do have trouble seeing greens or reds, so they don't identify those two colors. To them is pretty similar.
Okay. Okay.
That was the debunking.
Maybe that's why they don't like Christmas as much as I think they should, but I don't know. All right. A dog is 4 times more likely to exhibit behavior when consistently walked by a male. So more aggressive when guys walk them than when women walk them. And researchers believe they are able to pick up emotions and aggressions from their handler. So guys, be careful about your mood when you're actually walking your dog, because people can do this too. You can just tell when someone's in a bad mood or someone's angry, or we have a sense for that. And then sometimes we actually mirror, because mirroring is relatable. So they've done a lot of psychological studies that if you can mirror someone's speech or mirror their emotions or mirror their states, that you form a tighter bond. And since dogs and humans do bond, I think that might be part of why they pick up on our emotions. It's not really a negative thing. It's kind of a mirroring thing. So just be careful of your emotions and states of mind when you're walking your dog, because they're getting that too.
And to add to that, as my own hack, which I actually do have, if you want to be more approachable and you want to connect with someone, or you want to meet new friends, or maybe meet a partner, a future partner or something, walking dog is the best way to do it. Like that is a great not tool, because animals are not tools, but it's a great way to get someone to be more comfortable saying hi to you. And
Yes.
also there are cases, many reported cases of people who were depressed due to whatever life changing situation that is going on in their lives, and being with the dog that forces them to go outside and forces them to deal with people or meet people or just be outside has helped with depression immensely in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people.
Mm-hmm. You're up.
That was my fact. I actually had it as a fact.
That was your okay, because I was looking because I had something that I thought might have been in the quizzes, and I don't remember if it was this episode or another one. It's going to be in another episode because you were talking about meeting people, and there's
Uh-huh.
they did a study on some of the dating apps and stuff, like the best car to have in your photo. That's you get more responses from the opposite sex for like swipes and likes and stuff like that. And then they actually did a study of what dogs would get you the most positive responses. But I don't think I have that in this video. So you guys are just gonna have to watch all the future videos to get the answer to that one. I actually do remember it. The that was going to be a quiz for one of the things. So do you want to take a guess? I'll just make it a quiz now.
I will think a golden retriever.
You got it. Golden retrievers.
Mhm.
So if you're
Yeah.
standing by a Tesla hanging out with a golden retriever,
A
that's a
Tesla?
solid. Yeah, Tesla is the most you get the most like swipes standing by Tesla, even over like Porsches, Ferraris. Like for some reason you get that they did a study and you get more swipes, more likes, more matches. Tesla is the car that gets the highest percentage.
I would have actually thought a Jeep or something cool like that that you can play with. Like to me, the Jeep is just such a cool car because you can play with it, move
Yeah.
things around, and it's a Lego. Jeeps are
Okay.
Legos for adults.
But since that was not on my sheet or my quiz as I was strolling down and I was not ready for it to be my turn, let's see, I have to get back to the top of my list. If you guys don't know, basically that this is kind of the breakdown. We find all the stuff, we scour the internet and find the stuff that we like, and then we kind of put it on a Word document. As much as we would love to, we're not going to like memorize all the facts and do a script. So if you're wondering why we're constantly looking off screen, we're basically just reading the Word document that we prepared with all of our fun stuff on it. Um, let's see, dogs walking. Dogs can feel jealousy, but they can't feel guilt. Interesting. So when they
They
give you those
cannot feel guilt.
Nope. So when they give you those guilty puppy eyes, don't believe it. They actually don't. The emotion of guilt,
Manipulative.
jealousy. But
Yes.
and that I think that look is just more out of I know that I get my way if I make this look. It's not I'm guilty, so I'm making this look. It's more of a manipulative look than it is an emotional response.
I believe that. I mean,
Yep.
Pepita, which unfortunately you didn't get to see today, she's taking a nap. We went for a very long walk, sniffing people and barking at people.
Okay.
So she's tired.
You were
But
both barking at people. That's not a good way to meet the neighbors, Maria. You probably should just let her bark. You might want to refrain.
yeah, I will do my best next time. Thank you for that tip.
You said we were walking, we were barking. I mean, you threw yourself in there.
I sure did. I sure
Yes,
did.
you did.
So I have some symbolisms and some perceptions of animals around the world.
Okay.
So in China, they have a festival that celebrates dogs.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the sad side of that, which there are international organizations that are working to protect animals, they do celebrate them also with eating them. Now, it's not always the same dogs. It's not. They're not gonna eat Pepita. There's nothing to eat there in a Chihuahua. They do have certain breeds of dogs that are used for that purpose, but um, as much as that sounds horrible, they actually honor the animal and they have it as one of the animals in their calendar. So if you're born in the year of the dog, you are actually going to bring good luck and you're going to be very fortunate. They
Okay.
use the foo dog, and the foo dog is actually a lion. So if you go to a Chinese restaurant or an Oriental restaurant and you see like these gargoyle chihuahua with curly hair, it's actually a lion that looks like a dog, and it's called the foo dog for
Okay.
protection. Now, in Japan, the foo dog or the lion dog is called komainu. So there's like a lot of traditions in Asia that praise dogs for their fortune and stuff like that, but not everywhere in the world do they view dogs as positive. So in some parts of Africa and even Christianity, they used to view dogs as thieves or brutal, like very raw, brutal. And even though in Christianity they will actually have a saint for that had a dog. But in
Okay.
Africa, they were convinced that they were related to the hyenas, so they think they were just very like sneaky and stuff like that.
Okay, I have to be honest here because I kind of toned you out after the second half. I got really caught up on the first half. So you're talking about them eating dogs. Okay. And then you went on to the foo dog, which sounds like food dog. I'm not trying to be funny here. Like, first off, I was very like disturbed and off put by the eating dogs part. After that, you kind of lost me because I'm already kind of like, okay, what? And then the food dog after that sounded like food dog. So the first two times you said it, I thought you were talking about a specific breed that was considered food stock. So a
No!
food breed. So if anybody else was thinking that way, I was doing that also. So that just the very, very beginning was a quick mention about honoring dogs, a dog celebration. But then during the celebration, they eat dog while celebrating the dog. But it's a different breed of dog, or that part was where I got confused.
No, no, no. They do have like the larger dogs. They do have like a specific type of dogs that they will eat.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, they will unfortunately collect them from the streets and stuff like that, but they're not like every tiny little dog. And
All
they
right.
do have a little bit more of a choice of how, like, if you have a Holstein cattle towards a.
That's all right. I don't. Sorry, I don't want to get any further into eating dog.
You brought it up. You could have just said, "What do you mean by food dog?"
I just wanted to make sure that I had the facts straight because
Thank
I got
you.
a little turned around, and if anybody else out there got confused, I wanted to make sure that they got the clarification, but no more information.
Thank you. Yes. I didn't want to give more than that.
That's okay. Guys, if you are normally part of watching the normal show where we've got the video clips and everything on Wild Chats, we're going to be doing after shows for these shows also. And what we're going to start doing, I think, is anything that's a little off color. And we're doing this over on Undiscovered Worlds also. If you guys want to go check out that channel, if you want to learn about stuff that isn't animals. Over there, we're kind of doing stuff that's it's more like, if it's a fact that's a little like PG-13, we're going to do those in the after show. So we'll kind of start kind of sectioning stuff off, but it'll be a little fun. We're going to be over there sharing a few more facts, talking about the show, random topics, but the after shows for these are going to be a little bit different than the after shows for the regular podcasts. Okay, moving down the line, let's see. Dogs, jealous. We already did that one. In 1937, the blind political activist Helen Keller actually brought the first Akita, the Akita Inus, to the United States. So all the Akita Inus that are here were because Helen Keller had brought the first one over. So I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, talking about stories or
Okay.
ancient myths and things like that, the ancient Mayan Indians of South America, the Grand Chaco in South America, they believe that humans originally lived underground until the dogs actually dug them out. Like
That's
that's
cool.
part of their myths.
I like that. That's a good origin story. I like that one. Um, let's see. Shiba Inu nearly became extinct after World. Oh no. Okay. Sorry. I don't like sad facts. So again, any sad facts also are going to be going in the after show. I don't like to bring the mood down. I want to keep it happy. But the Shiba Inu actually nearly became extinct after World War II because of the bombing raids, and a distemper virus actually was pretty rampant at that point in time. So the breed almost got lost because of that.
But
Everything
he
else.
didn't.
But it didn't. But it
Good.
didn't.
So I have something interesting here.
Okay.
Ex-president's wife, Barbara Bush, she wrote a book about her English Springer Spaniel.
Yes.
English Springer Spaniel. Her name was Millie,
Okay.
and that book was a bestseller for almost 30 weeks. That's pretty
Okay.
much more than half a year as a bestseller. And she was one of the most popular first dogs in history, and made more money than the president that year.
They don't get paid that much. I mean, they
No,
get
they
paid a
don't.
decent amount,
They
but they
really
don't get
don't.
paid like a ridiculous amount. But now, was it like Millie likes to eat Peanut butter. Millie likes to walk 3 times a day, or was it like Miller was like a main character in like a fictional book? I wonder. So it was like
Well,
Millie.
it was a book about her life, so I'm sure she made it very compelling.
Okay, so it was a
Mhm.
compelling biographical account of Millie's. That's interesting. Okay, all right. Oh, let's see. So we already had done some fun laws before. Let's see. Though Iran was one of the first countries in the Middle East to pass animal welfare laws, Iran, which surprised me a lot. In 1948, the government funded the first institution to enhance animal rights. Also, unfortunately, now there's actually a new bill that's being circulated to actually make dogs and other pets illegal. So Iran would be the first one to basically really embrace animals and animal rights. And now they may be the only country in the world where dogs and other pets would be illegal.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Full
I mean,
circle.
I know there are many international organizations like PETA who does not believe on using honeybees or having animals as pets, or even being used for canine or for emotion. Nothing like they don't. It's
Mhm.
animal rights. They don't believe they should be used. So I wonder if they have basis on that, and of
No,
course, basis of on the religion.
the rationale had part to do with religion and then part to do with just the symbolism of Western culture. I just didn't want to get that deep in.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. But yeah, it's a cleanliness thing also because of pets. But then it became a very like rich society thing, and then people with pets and that kind of whole aspect to it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So I have a quiz for you.
a quiz. Wait, I want to tell one more. I want to tell one more before we get into quizzes.
Go for it.
I thought this was interesting. So in Reykjavik, since we were talking about animals and animals being banned and stuff, in Iceland, basically in Reykjavik, they had made dogs illegal because there was I'm not going to try to pronounce this disease, but basically it's passed by tapeworm, and it actually can be very like dangerous. I guess 20% of the people that they had done autopsies on had this tapeworm, and it's tied to dogs. This is back in the 1880s, and so they made dogs illegal because they wanted to stop the spread of this particular illness, and they're now legal again with special permits, but because they were illegal for so long, it just became like a cat culture. So kind of the way
Mhm.
Egypt was primarily a cat culture. So now there's cats everywhere and hardly any dogs because that would be the only other country in history where dogs were illegal for a period of time.
So when you travel around the world, they actually like I take Pepita with me a lot to Colombia, and you have to show not only the rabies permit, but you also have to show the that you use parasite control, not only
Yeah,
for fleas but also for roundworms, heartworms, and different diseases that could be not only harmful to them, but they could potentially be harmful to us.
yeah. I guess this was the spread of. Okay, I'll try it. Echinococosis. Echinococosis.
Mhm,
Eh, I did better on that one than I thought I was going to. All right,
mhm.
Mark, the quiz. What do you got? So this
So
is
who
just me. So Maria's going to ask a question. If I can't get it, she's going to give me some hints so I can get there. This is Jeopardy style. You guys can yell at the screen if you want to. Like, Ryan, you're an idiot. How do you not know the answer to this? But this is the fun part for everybody to get involved and see if you know the answer before I do.
Okay, so this is actually pretty simple. You should be able to guess it really good.
That
So
made it work.
between man and dog, who has a better sense of taste?
Werewolves. It counts. It's either one. I win. Let's see. They've got a better sense of smell, so usually smell gets tied to flavor.
Taste, taste.
I know, I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
saying smell gets tied to flavor, but they have to lick their wet noses to pick up the particles to get the smell. I'm going humans. I'm going humans.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Good for you. I'm glad you stuck to your guns.
Yes. Yes.
Because if it was me, I'd be like, oh, you're saying final answer. Maybe that's the cue to just switch to the other one.
Oh,
Actually, um, they have 1/6 of the taste buds that we humans have. That's
oh,
why they don't taste like spicy food. There's certain things they shouldn't eat, they shouldn't have.
yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah, we covered that in a previous video. There's only one other mammal in the world that actually can eat spicy food because most animals are they capsaicin, the spicy factor in peppers and stuff. They can't stand it. So,
And I
but
I know who.
you
I know
remember
who.
Maria remembers
The
it. What?
tree shrew.
Yes, it is the tree shrew. They actually have a mutation in their genes, so the capsaicin they're not as sensitive to it. Humans are equally sensitive to it, but we like to eat it just for the spice or for the temperature or for the just self torture or whatever your reasons are. But we taste it as hot. Tree shrews actually don't taste it as hot. So okay, let's see. Man, I've got like 8 quizzes. We're definitely not getting to all of these, but you want to start with Family Guy or you
Oh,
want to start with the dumbest dog breeds? Which one would you like?
are you talking about Family Guys in the show?
Yes, the show Family Guy.
I actually don't hate me for this, but I've only seen the commercials.
You've only
Maybe
seen.
I've seen Family Guy once or twice.
Okay, so guys, what we're gonna
Just
do?
the guy with the balloon head. The kid has that looks like a balloon, like a not a balloon, like a
Yep. Yep.
football.
That's Stewie. Yep. Okay, so we won't do that one since you don't watch the show.
Are you
Guys,
gonna
don't
ask me what kind of dog it is?
guys don't Google it. Yeah, I was gonna ask you what kind of dog
I'm
Brian
gonna
is.
guess.
No, I don't want to give the answer. These now everyone's gonna can debate it in the comments. That'll be one of our questions. So as you guys know, every time we do videos, we like to post some of the fun questions we have during it. So it'll be in the social posts at YouTube, the community post, sorry, and the as always the free section of Patreon. You guys can debate out what kind of dog Brian is. There was 2 answers
Oh,
on
that's
the
his
internet.
name.
Yes, there's 2 answers on the internet. One was horribly wrong. As soon as I read it, I'm like, well, there's no way that's true.
What's his name again? Brian.
Brian. Brian, yes. Yes. Me with a B in front of it. Yes, that would be it. Okay, then, Maria. Your choice by default, since you do not watch Family Guy. Okay, there was a list put together, though opinions vary, but usually when you pick the dumbest dog, we're not saying least intelligent. The list that I used actually had to do with obedience and trainability. So some dogs are more stubborn than other dogs.
Beeps.
So I thought you might like it. So a very stubborn dog would basically make the list. And what they did is if it took on average over 80 repetitions to teach them a command, that was the worst.
Beeps.
That was the worst category. So they did above 80, 80 to 60, 60 to 40, and then that's how they determined dumb dog versus smart dog. So more obedient versus not obedient. But I have a list in front of me of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The top 11.
I have to guess 11 dogs.
No. Just I'll give you, what do you want? 5 guesses and see how many of them you get out of
Okay.
5. Okay.
So I have to add Chihuahuas to the list because although they have the largest brain per your body mass ratio, they are untrainable. Well, they are trainable. Every animal is trainable, but again. So
Okay.
I'm gonna add Chihuahuas. I'm gonna add Yorkies.
What are Yorkie's actual names? I always forget.
Yorkshire Terrier.
Terriers. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna add. I'm going through my Rolodeck of breeds. Problem is, the problem is golden retrievers are smart, but they're. I'm gonna put them in the list. So we got 3. I'm gonna say, and please don't hate me if you like golden retrievers. I
No,
don't. They're just goofy. They're just goofy.
we're not saying they're dumb. They're just hard to train. This is what
Hard
this
to
list-
train.
Yes.
Untrainables. The untrainables.
Yes.
Okay. We also have. Well, the thing is, a dash hound. They're actually pretty. I'm having a hard time with this list. Let's go with a very large one. Let's go with Great Dane as a 4th choice
Okay.
out of 11. And no, because those are police dogs. I was thinking of schnauzers, but they're police dogs, which means they're very smart. And last but never least, I'm just gonna go with a beagle. Why not?
Out of 5 choices, Maria, the only one you got right was the one you threw in at the end with a why not. It was the beagle. None of the other 4 on the list.
No, are you serious?
Serious.
Peeps, you're in the list of high IQs. I'm gonna apply to Mensa for you.
She's just not at the bottom. All right, the list basically. Most of the hounds to begin with, but
Are you serious?
Basset Hound, Bloodhound, Afghan Hound, English Mastiff, Shih Tzus, English Bulldogs, Pekingese, the
Guineas.
Basenjis. Um,
Basenjis, yeah.
yeah, I forget where they're from. It's a very like specific region that Basenjis are from. They're actually also the only dog that can't bark. They sound, it sounds like they're yodeling almost when they try to bark. The Beagle, Borzai, and Chow Chows would be the rest of the list. I don't know how many you guys got out there. If you want, you can write in the comments how many you got right out of that. And I'm sure there'll be a big running debate as far as no, this should have been on the list, that should have been on the list. You can tell us all the
Because
stories of you trying to.
I honestly thought, based on a list I read in the past, Chihuahuas were on the list as one of the less trainable dogs.
And they probably were in the next group, but I mean, there's how many breeds of dogs are there? I think there's like 200 and something breeds of dogs if you go to the AKC list. So it doesn't mean they're not hard to train. It just means they're not the worst. They're not the top percentile.
So I have a survival skill for you.
A survival skill for me. Okay.
A question. Yeah.
Do I need it? Is that your way of saying you're going to kill me because you couldn't get any of these right? What's going on?
No, I actually love that challenge because it makes me realize our perception of smart or our perception of trainables or whomever comes up with a list, what are their specifications of what they call untrainable, not trainable, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll go with that.
What's my skill here? What am I learning?
So no, actually, you're gonna basically figure out
Okay.
what is the best way to approach a dog you've never met.
I like to play some really loud, like heavy metal music, and then I like to look really big. And usually I get my teeth out a little bit because that way I can. No, kidding.
That sounds like you're gonna approach a grizzly bear. That probably will work.
Yes. And then I play dead. Yes, exactly. That's my grizzly bear strategy. So basically, I know that the ways that people do it, you're definitely not supposed to. You're not supposed to pet the top of a dog's head. They can't see you, and that's just as far as touching them. I don't know if I read this or why I started doing it, and sometimes I'm hesitant with bigger dogs, but I try to pet their chest because then they can kind of see my hand coming, and then their mouth, they are in control of that situation, basically. Where if I touch their head, yeah, they're completely out of control. They don't know what I'm doing. They can't see it. I could be trying to grab their neck. So I don't know if I read that's the best way to do it, and that's why I started doing it. But I personally try to pet their chest, basically.
But how do you allow them? How do you get to the point where you can pet them? Like, what's the step before from the moment you see them to when you start petting them?
I usually pause. I know some people put the back of their hand out so the dog can smell it, but it doesn't really matter. They're trying to smell you. So what I do is when I try to go pet their chest, I'll pause before I touch them so they can actually smell like my wrist, essentially, if I'm not wearing cologne or something like that. So that gives them that moment to sniff me. So I'll pause for a second and then I'll try to go and pet their chest. And kind of that's my progression when I do it, but I don't know that that's the best way to do it.
Well, actually, according to research, and you hit it, don't stick your hand out. And I like how you said, like, people say you stick your hand out, but I let them come and smell me. That is actually the way to do it. If you stick your hand out, they could perceive it as a threat, whether you pet their head or the bottom or whatever it is.
Okay.
So what they're saying is let the dog come to you, let them smell you, and then you can assess if petting them is the right way to do it once you also see their body language. Because in some animals, you can see their body language immediately. And you can
Yeah.
be like, you can just see them. And also the way they wag their tails, believe it or not, says a lot about the animal's behavior. So learning their body language before approaching an animal is always the safest way to do it. If you
Okay.
see an animal doing this and their ears are going down, don't move. Just let them. Like, just seriously
Okay.
let them. But if you see their tails wagging, doesn't always mean that they're happy. So some of the like ways to figure out is if they wag their tail towards the right, they're right. So if they're moving their tail and you can clearly see it wagging their tail towards the right, they're very happy.
Okay.
And that is one of the, according to some research, one of the bigger ways to notice, which is hard to remember. Oh, they're wagging their tail, they should be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they're wagging it towards the left, then they're actually, you got to be careful because they may not be as open to it as you think. And this is my left.
Yeah, and if you see the fur on their back, like by their neck and stuff, kind of pump up. So exactly, watch body language for sure.
So the
Okay.
best way to approach a dog is let them come and sniff you and assess the situation with body language. And always
Mhm.
ask the owner.
Okay. All right, guys, we're at about 46 minutes. This is a little bit longer than we want to be running these. We're going to try to run between like 30 and 45 in the future, but Maria and I always get a little carried away chit-chatting. So we're going to try to control ourselves a little bit with some of the extra stories. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I know I had another 25 facts I think I could have done. So I have a feeling there's going to be a dog facts part 2 coming up. And I think we got to 2 of my quizzes out of my 7. So definitely have enough ammo to do another video sometime soon. But again, as you guys know, if you watch Wild Chats and our videos before this, I am a huge dog lover. I love animals in general, but just like parents, I do have my favorites. And dogs are my favorites in the animal kingdom. So I could probably do a 3-hour version of this video if we really wanted to. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you guys enjoyed this video or any of the other animal facts videos, and you're looking to branch out a little bit, we actually took this same idea and we brought it over to a channel that Maria and I have been doing for about 5 years called Undiscovered Worlds. And that entire show, actually that entire channel now is going to be just facts on fun stuff that Maria and I were interested about. So far, I think we haven't published them yet, but we've recorded an food video. So fun facts and things we found about food. We did, what else did we do, Maria?
We did food, we did babies, human babies.
Human babies.
Human babies. We specified.
Yes.
And we also did aliens.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun.
It was. Because we're going to do an animal babies on this channel. So I wanted to separate the two between human and animal. And the alien one is fun too, guys, if you're not into like conspiracy theories and all that. Some of it's that, but a lot of it is like there's an alien hidden in every episode of South Park for you to go find, basically.
So that's what we talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a comic about Muhammad Ali joining up with Superman to fight aliens back in, I think it was like the 70s or something. So some of them are aliens, some are kind of alien adjacent. But it's a lot of fun over there. So if you guys want something that isn't just animals, you guys can go check that out. But as always, guys, we are going to jump on over to the backstage show now. So for all the Patreon subscribers, go catch us there. And guys, for the conversations, the posts, the debate on what type of animal Brian is in Family Guy, you can go to the community posts on YouTube or the free section of Patreon. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much.
Or even on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook too. Bye, guys.